noche, y buenas noches. Good afternoon, good transitioners. It's such a blessing to be here with you all. While Daily Acts organization's work is adjacent and connected to the transition movement, it's been nearly a decade since I was directly involved in the transition movement on the board of the Transition US Hub. And, just looking at the power of small groups and small gatherings like this one, about 15 years ago, I was sitting around a small table in the evening at the Transition Liverpool conference with Felipa Pimentel, who presented earlier, and a few other folks. And Felipa jumped up with this inspired idea of volunteering to help organize the then emerging international transition town work. And so a few years later, I was at another transition town conference, and there was about 25 national hubs sitting around in a big room together. And it was just such an inspiring reminder of the power of small groups and small connections and what can come of these sort of gatherings. So Daily Acts started about 4 to 5 years before the Transition Town movement, but I was really following Rob Hopkins' ideas and writings. And we come very much out of the same place as the transition ethos, essentially social permaculture, and really looking at the power of our daily actions, the power of small groups to affect wider transformation in our homes, gardens, neighborhoods, communities, and world. And I just want to share that everything you're going to see in these examples is all powered through collaboration and partnership. We have a ton of phenomenal partners. And so I hope to kind of touch on three questions in this of one, can we change the world in a garden? Two, can small solutions really lead to big transformative change? And three, how do each of us stay inspired and connected year after year, decade after decade of being in this work, which could be really challenging? And so for this change the world in a garden lens, I stepped into a garden at the Permaculture Institute in Northern California about 25 or so years ago and was totally cracked open and rewired by what I saw and experienced. And it caused me to start Daily Acts organization around this idea of changing the world in a garden. And so this is actually my and my wife and family's garden on the upper picture. It's a small urban suburban lot, but it's stacked with about 200 different types of food, medicine, and habitat plants. We have 5 rainwater catchment systems, 2 gray water systems, a ton of other amazing benefit. It uses about 50 to 80% less resources. And importantly, it sequesters 2 tons of carbon dioxide a year. That's the equivalent of about 20 mature oak trees or literally driving around the world. And, so this idea for us is a garden is more than a garden. It's food, medicine, habitat, beauty. It's drought and flood mitigation, carbon sequestration, habitat restoration, community empowerment, policy change, and a pathway to scale. And so we went from doing a number of these small gardens and like the one at our place to creating the first public food forest, at least in Northern California, in our neighborhood, right across the street from our house, in partnership with the city of Petaluma. And we mobilized about 150 volunteers and had some permaculture design experts helped out. And it was this incredible unleashing and site transformation. And one, we saved about 80% of the water that was being used on the site, over 1 million gallons of water over the years since we first installed it. And again, growing food, medicine, habitat, beauty, community education, and connection, while sequestering a ton of carbon emissions a year. From here, on the first day of 350.org's global climate call to action in 2009, Daily Acts and a couple partner organizations working with the city mobilized about 250 volunteers and transformed our city hall landscape mostly in a single day, saving the city about $60,000 in installation costs and about 1 million gallons of water, both from conservation with transforming the turf and catching problems, leaks in their irrigation. And so from here, we're thinking, okay, we'll do a small garden, a bigger garden, and a bigger garden. And all the while, we're building skills and building confidence and building relationships and having more fun. And then we came up with this crazy idea of planting 350 gardens in a weekend to, again, call attention to climate change. And so a small group of us from different organizations got together, and 17 weeks from our original meeting and a goal that we were afraid to even say initially, we mobilized over 40 schools, churches, businesses, organizations, agencies, and the whole community came together, rose to the moment, and almost doubled the goal, planting and revitalizing over 600 gardens in a weekend. So each year for a decade, we doubled and doubled and doubled and just kept on mobilizing more and more actions and projects. And we shared this with other partner organizations like the Transition US Challenge that happened at one point, and a range of other regional, state, national organizations. And together, collectively, in a decade, we mobilized 100,000 actions and projects. And so, just to kind of ground this into one specific place and how efforts can add up through time, over nearly 20 years in our hometown city of Petaluma and partnering with the city of Petaluma and a lot of other groups, we are able to really have an incredible impact, very much along the ethos of the transition movement, that you start an initiative and other groups grab other pieces, and it can lead to a bigger collective transformation. So again, we started with landscapes, and one of the things we helped the city do is create a mulch madness program that gave away free resources to transform lawns to save water. We transformed, or the city did with free resources, over 1,000 landscapes through this program, and over 13 years, this has saved as much as 560 million gallons of water. And so a lot of efforts happened over the years. Then in 2019, when collectively all across the US and the world, the climate emergency was becoming a flashpoint, we helped found a local coalition, Climate Action Petaluma, again, with a number of other partner organizations and businesses and grassroots leaders. And together we mobilized hundreds of students and businesses and organizations and leaders and held a huge rally outside of our city planning session in the upper left corner of the picture. You could see the youth speaking. And we asked the city to do three things: declare climate emergency, take bold action, and create a climate cabinet or a climate commission to focus this work. And so Petaluma became the first city in Sonoma County to declare a climate emergency. This also led to becoming the first city, at least in the US, if not the world, to ban new gas stations. This rippled through other cities in the county to where we became the first set of municipal jurisdictions in the United States to have all the jurisdictions declare climate emergency. And just more and more things happened as more groups started to come up to take care of just different aspects of the problem, planting trees, focusing on bike safety and things. And so, because of all of this, last year the city was nominated for an All-American Civic Engagement Award, and they asked me to help write the application. And the city was amazingly selected as one of the top 20 communities in the US around equitable, inclusive sustainability and civic engagement. And one of the incredible metrics that the city manager shared with me in this process was that in looking, over the years, this grassroots effort changed every aspect of how the city functioned and even thought about community and leadership, from vehicle purchase policy to street and building design. And the city of Petaluma has about a $350 million budget. And the city manager told me that nearly half of that budget has aspects of green infrastructure goals and greenhouse gas emission reduction goals tied to it. That is incredible citywide transformation that came from a lot of work through time. And so, just to share one more quick example, a number of years ago, Daily X joined the Land Resilience Partnership Program, and we brought in a couple large grants in Petaluma. And over the last 3 years, through lots of collaborations, we've done over 60 transformations at schools and parks and residences, really emphasizing more low-income and socially and economically diverse communities. We're talking about lawn conversions, gray water systems, rain gardens, rain tanks, saving nearly 2 million gallons of water a year while creating a ton of other benefits. This program has since received further support and is being spread to 6 regions across California within the next year, year and a half, with even more interest to spread it. And so I just want to pull back in briefly. There's so many big challenges in our world that we're facing. And This requires frequent recentering. And so these are Daily Act's four core values and operating principles. Reverence, we start with our heart. Ripples, reclaim the power of our voice and take positive action. Relationships, everything is about nurturing community and regenerating nature. And when we do this, when we start with our heart, we reclaim the power of our ripples and we focus on our relations. That's how we build resilience. And of course, to stay sustained, we have a lot of fun gatherings and parties. That's really critical to nurturing our relationships. Daily X is a great and inspiring book that details all these examples out and more called Take Heart, Take Action. We also have a ton of amazing case studies and webinars and videos and resources on our website. Please use these and share them. And lastly, I just want to say again, thank you so much for all your incredible work all over the world. Obrigado y gracias, amigos y amigas.